Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book haul for you. And the last book haul that I posted on this channel was a most unusual book haul or a totally uncharacteristic book haul where I showed you a bunch of books that you wouldn't necessarily expect for me to feature on this channel. But that's not what's going on today. Today is just a regular old book haul, and all of these books, I'm pretty sure you could look at them and think, yeah, that's totally something she would read. So let's just jump right into it. A couple of these books, including this first one, are books that I didn't really take notice of originally, but they gained so much popularity across booktube, and now they're so hyped and people are having great experiences with them that I decided to jump on the bandwagon with my wallet and buy them. The first is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This is by Talia Hibbert. This is the story of Chloe. She's a computer geek. She has a bit of a near-death experience that results in her wanting to live her best life and coming up with a list of ways in which she can do so. And they're totally uncharacteristic things for her, so she enlists the help of Redford Morgan, a handyman with tattoos, a motorcycle, and more sex appeal than 1,000 Hollywood heartthrobs, to help her be bad, to help her live life to the fullest. I have to admit, like, this isn't my favorite romance trope, which is, I think, why I didn't pay much attention to this book in the beginning. This reminds me of books like Make Me Bad by R.S. Gray, where, you know, you've got this girl who just really wants to put in some sort of exclamation point on her life and does so with a bad boy who can teach her all of the ways in which to be bad. I don't know. It's just not my favorite trope, but so many people are talking about this. So many people are loving the crap out of it that at this point, I can't not read it. Same sort of situation with the Bromance Book Club by Lyssa Kay Adams. This super popular, but this is about a Major League Baseball player who is married and realizes or comes to find out that his wife fakes it, and he loses his mind because he probably thought he was just so anyways, in order to save his marriage, in order to save just face and to rectify all of the wrongs, he joins a secret underground book club where alpha males in his area are reading romance books in order to improve their relationships with ladies, enhance their abilities to woo the girls. I can tell you quite clearly, like without doubt, that the reason that I kind of overlooked this book at first is because it deals with married couple, and I just don't like romance novels about married couples. I feel like they're already halfway there. So that was just the one reason that I skimmed over it. But you know, I have to go back and take a look because so many people are talking about this. The sequels, the subsequent books in the series are gaining traction, and I just want to be part of that excitement. I am super excited about this book. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but that is Wonderland by Jennifer Hillier. This is about an amusement park which turns into this killer's playground, and the police chief that tries to stop him. So this gave me a lot of Fantasticland vibes. It also, I mean, this cover is just incredible. There were a couple of other books by Jennifer Hillier that I was really interested in reading, but that I just hadn't yet. And then I saw this and I was like, okay, this, no question about it. Need it in my life. She writes pretty dark thrillers, from my understanding. I wouldn't go so far as to say this is a horror novel, but I am expecting something gritty. I could be wrong. This could end up being just a standard run-of-the-mill crime thriller, but I just have a feeling about this one. This book is really popular. It is We Sold Our Souls. This is by Grady Hendrix. I've been seeing Grady Hendrix's name a lot lately, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's starting to perk up and pay attention. It's becoming a very recognizable and synonymous name in the horror genre. This particular book is obviously about a musician, It's about a woman who was part of a band in the 90s, and their lead singer left the band to start a solo career and rocketed to stardom while the rest of the band members kind of slowly faded away and began living their own personal versions of hell. Our lead guitarist, Chris, is actually a night manager at a Best Western, tired, broke, and unhappy. And when she realizes that her former bandmate quite literally sold them out to become famous, she's determined to rectify that situation. This next book was included in my most anticipated reads videos. I believe it was the most recent one, part 3. That is Don't Turn Around by Jessica Barry. I first noticed this book because of the author, Jessica Barry. I read her debut novel, Free Fall, in 2019. I liked it, and so her name caught my eye. And then I read the synopsis of this book, which involves 2 women who are seemingly strangers being together in a car, being followed and chased by, I don't know, a sadistic killer. It says 322 miles of road, 6 hours, 2 strangers, 1 killer, and too many secrets. And with a lot of my anticipated reads, like, I noticed them. I realized that, yes, I would like to read that someday. And then I just kind of wait for the opportune time to acquire the book, read the book, etc. But there was something about this book. I never forgot having seen it, having talked about it, and it just kept hanging out there in the back of my mind until I just succumbed. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I have to get this. I'm going to have to make time to read it. Like, I just have a feeling about this book. It just sounds to me, this book sounds like what all of the people who loved No Exit think of that book. That this sounds like it could be my No Exit, but we'll see. Next, I picked up the book The White Road. This is by Sarah Lotz. I have at least 2 other books by Sarah Lotz that I have not read yet. All of them are only fairly well rated. Not phenomenal ratings. I picked up White Road specifically because this is like survivalist horror where you have a strong kind of man versus nature story embedded within a horror novel, which just sounds like utopia to me. I love man versus nature elements in stories, but this is about an adrenaline junkie who had taken what became a very famous adventure trip to these underwater caves, and tragedy struck, bad things happened, he barely survived with his life, and his footage from that event went viral, and people just helped elevate him to this level of fame. And so to capitalize on that, he decides to embark on a similar type of adventure, and this time it's Mount Everest. So him and his camera and his guide take off to try to climb, I guess, Mount Everest. And then the book alludes to terrible truths being unearthed about former tragedies of Everest and of this particular guy, Simon's first cave adventure. I don't know. Survivalist horror. That's what I know. That's what I'm here for. Next, I also picked up A Guide for Murdered Children. This is by Sarah Sparrow. This is a horror novel. Don't be led astray by the nice baby pink illustrated childlike cover. This is a horror novel. It is actually about the souls of murdered children returning to Earth and inhabiting or possessing adults in order to take revenge on whoever was responsible for their death. I saw this book initially, at least a year ago, and I thought, oh man, that sounds really great. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then through all of my searching I've done lately as it relates to different subgenres and such, I saw this and I'm like, yes, please. Actually, you know what? I think the first time I saw this was NetGalley. To be perfectly honest, it was. I'm just now remembering this. It was NetGalley. I requested the ARC. I did not get it. So I put it out of my mind and then stumbled upon this and just had to have it right away. I think it sounds heartbreakingly awesome. And for some reason, I usually start first with all of the Book of the Month books that I've recently received. But now that's what's left. 4 Book of the Month books. The first is A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. I got this from Book of the Month because it was originally on my anticipated reads of 2020 list. This is about a woman who is a federal prosecutor and is in a pretty lackluster marriage. She receives a call from an inmate at Rikers Penitentiary, and he's an old friend who tells her that his wife has just been found dead at the bottom of the stairs. He is the primary suspect, but he's begging her for assistance because he is not guilty of killing her. I'm not sure if the title, A Good Marriage, is referring to her marriage, like I said, which is lackluster, or if it's referring to the marriage of the dead woman and the guy in prison. I'm not sure. I just know that I read Kimberly McCreight's Before They Found Her. Is that what it's called? I believe so. And really liked it. Was really impressed with the multi-layered mystery that she managed to write in that case. So I'm hoping that this one is equally as good and equally as entertaining. And then this most recent month, July, I went ahead and got 3 books from Book of the Month. The Last Flight by Julie Clark. I was immediately attracted to the story when I read the synopsis. This is about 2 women, one of which I don't know much about at this point, but the other, our main character, is in a bad relationship with a very powerful man. She's desperate to change her life, and she meets someone in an airport who's also less thrilled with their life. So these 2 women decide on a whim to switch tickets and maybe spend a week or 2 escaping from their normal lives. Only the woman we don't know much about that took our main character's ticket, that plane goes down. And our main character, Claire, at that point, could potentially become this woman forever. She is now presumed dead. I just think it's one of those premises that I just immediately find fascinating. I also picked up One to Watch. This is by Kate Stayman London. This is a romance novel. This is about a plus-size woman who agrees to do a bachelorette-esque show in order to bring a little bit of body diversity to the genre. And she accepts on the condition that she's not going to change. I mean, nothing about her is going to change. She's just doing this to get some fat representation out there in the world. Only when she becomes part of this reality show and expensive things are being thrown at her and all these hot guys are vying for her attention, the question is, will she fall in love, which is something she doesn't want? Will she change, which is something that she doesn't want? So I'm a little bit torn. I got it and I would like to read it, sure, but I don't like the reality show in books kind of thing. So we'll have to see how this one goes. And finally, probably no surprise, Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This was also on my anticipated reads list. A lot of that has to do with how explosive Riley Sager's career has become and how much people on BookTube talk about all of the books. And, you know, I have all of them. I've only read one of them, but I remember specifically saying in my anticipated reads video that of all the Riley Sager books I have, other than The Final Girls, Home Before Dark is probably much more up my alley than the others. I'm probably more likely to read this one next, even though I haven't read the second and third ones that I received from him. This is the story of a woman who returns to her childhood home that I believe she only spent 20 days in before her family fled, and then her father penned a book called House of Horrors. And she's returned home to take care of some family business and is about to uncover exactly what went down, where the house is concerned, where her father's concerned, and it just sounds like a spooky haunted house kind of story. I have no idea if it's actually supernatural or if it's just going to play that game with the reader until we discover the truth. So, sounds like a good candidate for paranormal thriller. Although I don't know for sure. I'm going to need somebody to confirm. Can you confirm or deny that Home Before Dark is a paranormal thriller, please? Because I have 3 paranormal thrillers that I need to read in the month of July, so let me know. So those are all the books that I've picked up recently that are very typical books that I would like to read. Very similar to the things that you see on this channel all the time. I'm excited to have all of them. I again have gone from purchasing books just to purchase them and really purchasing books that I'm crazy about. I'm crazy about each one of these. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Have you read any of these? Are you also anticipating reading some of these? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon.